It felt as though I had been spinning through space until gravity suddenly came back and threw me to the ground. Like when you're having a great dream, but you wake up suddenly. And all you remember about the dream was that it was fun. That sort of lonely feeling. Though Pt.2 had been borrowing my body, it was my own body that used magic. I could still feel that sensation in my hands. The keyring over there had danced along with the movements of my fingers. No, that's not quite it. The keyring and my fingers had danced together. That fun, that excitement, still tingled slightly in my hands. Saying this, Barun-san suddenly turned around and picked up the keyring she had thrown on the bed. She must have realized that I was staring at it.
またやすに鍵をこんなところに放り出さないでって怒られるところでした。私、置きっぱなしにして忘れたりなんかしませんから。
With a grin, she put the key back into her pocket. However, she still hadn't noticed. She probably couldn't even imagine that just a single key had vanished while her back was turned for a second. It's not easy for a human to do things like that. But with magic, with just a little dance of the keys and a butterfly popping, it had disappeared.
はい、指先点検。ベッド OK。カーテン OK。お道具 OK。
Master key, not okay.
鍵も OK。ね？大丈夫でしょ
？Yes, that's good. Then let's go on to the next room. Barun-san, could you lock up this room for me?
はーい。
Did Barun-san's key really disappear by magic? Was that fun magic just a daydream I had? I was so scared of that being true that I tested it.
どうしたの？何やってんの？あれ？何これ？マジ？
What's wrong?
これじゃないし、これじゃないし。え？あれ？どうしたの？鍵、私が閉める？わけわかんない。何これ？マスターキーがない。マスターキーだけない。どうして？こんな頑丈なのに抜けるわけないのに。
I could faintly feel that tingling sensation run across my fingers again. That night, as I gazed at the ceiling from the bed in my dorm room, I looked at my hands. I couldn't sleep. The excitement from the time those keys danced was still there in my fingers. Is this how Beatrice, how witches always feel? I have a friend who's a witch called Beatrice. She always used to pull pranks on me with her strange magic. Because I saw this all the time, I thought I knew what magic was. But today, she had possessed my body and used magic with it. The sensation of magic that I finally felt at that time still held my heart entranced. It was a completely unknown pleasure. Because by moving my fingertips, I could make the key dance as I wished. It was a strange, strange miracle of magic, something humans could not do. I still couldn't let go of that excitement. Shannon, are you awake? Shannon was still awake. Shannon is always early to bed, early to rise. By getting to bed early, all of her weariness disappears by the next day. She lives a model life, one that all servants should respect and admire. If I want to become a loved, respected servant like Shannon, I'll need to act that way too. However, I wasn't confident that I could do that anymore. I guess I can't become like you after all.
どうしたの？突然。
You were my ideal. Always.
うん。
Everyone in the Fukuin house loves you and is kind to you. Since you always played with me, you're the only friend I've ever had. And you're also a wonderful servant who can carry out any task in the Ushiramiya mansion both flawlessly and gracefully. You were the target I longed to reach. That's what you were to me.
うん。一緒に頑張ろうよ。ほら、石の上にも3年って言うよ。みんな、どんどんあなたを認めてくれているよ。だから一緒に素敵な使用人を目指そうよ。
私、使用人辞める。
え？
使用人より魔女の方が面白そう。
Yep, the long trialing path to being a witch starts with that, I guess.
魔女って
And pretty soon we're gonna lead ourselves right into the Rokenjima murders.
何の話？
みんなに愛されて頼りにされる使用人って、今ももちろん憧れるけど、でも今の私には魔女の方が憧れるの。
それは
Shannon was confused. It was hardly surprising. All of this about quitting as a servant was at least understandable. But she didn't know how to answer after hearing that her roommate wanted to become a witch.
魔女、ベアトリーチェ。今日ね、ベアトリーチェが私に乗り移って、私の体を使って魔法を使ったの。その時、その未知の世界にこうゾクゾクっとしたものを感じたの。それは後ろ宮家の使用人に推薦されたことを知らされた時よりもずっとずっと上。知らなかった世界を初めて知ったような、まるで暗闇の世界だけに住んでて世界を全て知っているようなつもりになっていた私が初めて光を知って世界を目にするような、そんな喜び、興奮。
At that time, Pt.2 had only used my fingers, made a keyring dance, and turned a key into a butterfly before hiding it in a locker. But I had understood it with my body. If I had moved my fingers a different way, the ring could have flown into the air instead of just dancing. And I could have turned it into a scurrying lizard instead of a butterfly. I could have done anything. True, Beatrice's magical power was still weak. It had all happened in the little world behind the backs of the servants filled with the anti-magic toxin. However, inside that tiny, short-lived world, I could do anything at all. Pt.2 just happened to settle on making them dance and turning the key into a butterfly. But if she wanted to, she could have done anything else. The endless sensation of that free, unrestricted power. I could still feel it in my fingertips. Could it be that, along with that sensation, a fragment of the magical power might also remain? I can tell. It's still there. there's still just a bit of it there, along with that sensation. I can do it. I can still do it. Single spot of golden light suddenly lit up in this dark room. It was right between my clasped hands. When I slowly opened them, I could see a single dot that sparkled gold.
それは
Shannon didn't know what the light meant. How could light appear from the palm of my hands? And yet, even with this miracle right in front of her, she couldn't understand what it was. She just sat there with her mouth open in disbelief. However, to me, this was just the return of that bit of sensation in my fingertips. The golden dot spread out and became a small gold butterfly. It flapped its wings and scattered gold sparks about like a cartoon fairy. To Shannon, it probably just looked as though a gold butterfly was flapping its wings. Of course, that alone was a miracle that she could hardly grasp. But to me, this was like a remote control plane in the shape of a butterfly. I could control that gold butterfly however I wanted. Not clumsily with threads. I could make it flap, dance, play through the air as I wished. I was taking a walk through the air as that little butterfly. The golden glint of it pierced the darkness of the small room as it danced about freely. It was an entrancing pleasure. However, that sensation in my fingers began to weaken. I could tell that the few magic butterfly scales left in my fingers were going away. Finally, the gold butterfly flashed and turned to dust like a firework run out of juice, falling down and disappearing without a trace.
今のは一体。
これが魔法。すごく楽しいよ。
魔法。
うん、魔法。私の指にまだ少しだけ魔法が残ってたから使えた。でも本当の魔女になれば、もっともっと自由自在に何でもできる。もう私はこの楽しさを覚えてしまったの。もう人間には戻りたくない。使用人なんて退屈なの。だから魔女になるよ。
魔女になるって。待って。
もう決めたの、シャノン。今日まで楽しかった。この部屋をあげるね。あなた一人で使って。じゃあね。さようなら。
待って。
She proceeded to go run out into the forest and get lost. As Shannon called out repeatedly for me to wait, a massive planetarium swallowed me up. In the sea of the pitch-black starry sky, I was alone. We are alone here.
使用人ごっこはもうやめる。世界を変更。
うん、了解したぞ。それではいかようにしたものか。
シャノンのような素敵な使用人も悪くはない。でも魔女の楽しさを知ってしまったら、もうそれは退屈な憧れ。もう戻れない。
シャノンはどうするのか。
シャノンはシャノンで、これからも尊敬される使用人でいてくれればいい。彼女は彼女のままで。ただこれからは私と二人ではなく、彼女だけになるけれど。
別れは唐突に。まあよい。気まぐれな方が人生は退屈せぬというものよ。 されば
魔女がやりたい。ベアトがやりたい。
しかしわらわがすでにベアトリーチェであるぞ。
あなたが魔女で私の友人という設定はそのままで、ベアトは私ということに世界を変更する。
You know, I just realized Yasu is a voice actor now. Because someone was telling me, that it was interesting that Yasu didn't have a voice actor before. Yasu's got a voice actor now. Yasu has a voice. I wonder if that's supposed to be like a signal of a turning point. That's interesting.
つまりわらわはベアトリーチェの友人の魔女。
そんな感じ。だからあなたは今からベアトリーチェじゃない魔女。
わかった。ではわらわの新しい名前は何とする？
ふさわしい名前が思いつくまで保留にする。しばらくは名なしで。ごめんね。
よいよい、せっかくの名前だ。熟考してもらわねば困るというもの。
あなたはベアトリーチェが幼くまだ魔法が使えない頃からの友人。私のものを隠したりしてからかっていたことが縁の始まり。
なるほど。それがやがて魔法に目覚めたベアトリーチェの対等な友人となるわけか。ではわらわは少しお姉さん的な立場の友人であるな。
そんな感じ。喋り方どうしようかな。
ベアトリーチェの一人称はわらわですっかり馴染んでしまったな。そなたに譲るか？
わらわという言葉遣いは私が引き継ぐ。
Oh yeah, somebody mentioned this as well, talking about how Beatrice referred to herself. And of course it doesn't translate to English very well, but apparently it was, I guess, different than is, I guess, common to refer to yourself. I didn't fully catch that, to be perfectly honest, but it's I guess you could say it's a quirk of hers, or kind of a strange thing that she does.
わかったぞ。ではわらわも、いやいや、これからはわらわではないな。私もベアトリーチェの姉的立場である魔女の友人にふさわしい喋り方を探しておくことにする。
いや、
なかなかの貫禄。
私のいや、わらわの容姿はどうしたものか。
そうだな。私は真っ赤な魔女という感じであるからな。赤以外の雰囲気でまとめてみてはどうか。
When Beatrice wanders the mansion at night, she's often seen dressed in white.
やはり亡霊といえば白がイメージか。
白いドレスの魔女。イメージをまとめてみる。
I need a different look than the witch in the demon red dress. A white noble witch. Unlike the time with the red witch, I'm thinking about my own look now. So I'd like to make it beautiful and cute if I can. A white dress. A noble look. Like one of noble blood, but with a dark, sarcastic streak. No, she's like a tomboy princess. So her voice is a mix of formality and rudeness. Then the dress should be the exact opposite to make a nice contrast.
Hmm. このような姿ではどうか。
これが新しいベアト なの？
これは美しい。
Oh wait, you mean like that green white thing she's wearing?
高貴な姫君みたいだね。
Yeah, this thing?
気に入った。悪くないぞこの姿。
いいじゃない。素敵よ、ベアト。
気に入った。実に気に入ったぞこの姿。
その調子で今度は私に素敵な名前をつけてくれると嬉しいわね。いつまでも名なしじゃふてくされちゃうわ。
安心せよ。必ず立派な名前を考えてやろうぞ。それよりまず考えたいことがある。それはわらわの使う魔法のイメージである。物を隠したり別の場所に瞬間移動させる魔法はそなたのイメージだ。だからわらわもわらわにふさわしい魔法のイメージを考えねばな。魔法を使うとき黄金の蝶が飛び交う。そこは譲れぬぞ。
素敵ね。
It's like trying to come up with your own fighting character in some sort of fighting video game.
それこそ
I want to
ま
have
さ
that
に黄
move,
金の魔女。
and I want to have these accessories.
じゃあ雲の糸が苦手で社に収められてる霊境が苦手でという弱点もあなたの？
万能の魔女にも何かささやかな弱点があった方が面白いというもの。ではこうしよう。雲の糸に触れたらやけどをするということとする。
Silently, a silvery spider dropped down vertically. Ito, now in her new form, lightly touched the silver spider web that trailed out behind it. As she did, there was the faint sound of flesh burning, and a thin burn was left across her fingers. Beatrice can't stand spiderwebs. That was one of the weaknesses of the evil spirits Kumasawa-san spoke of. Since the witch Beatrice had revived thanks to the power of those evil spirits, she also inherited their weaknesses. So the sacred mirror is also one of her weaknesses. However, that sacred mirror in the shrine isn't too likely to appear in front of me often. That's not so fun.
では霊力のある鏡は無論のこと、鏡自体も苦手ということにしよう。
鏡って魔力があるってよく言うものね。いいんじゃない？いかにも魔女っぽい感じ。
鏡を見ると魔力が吸い取られる感じがするので苦手ということにしよう。面白そうだ。
If I really think about it, I'll be bad with mirrors whether I make that rule or not. No matter who I want or strive to be, the only face that will ever show in a mirror is the heartless, pathetic, and realistic face of Yasu. You know, I remember that too. Someone mentioned that at some point, that the mirror was the weakness for the culprit because it showed who they really were. Oh. That's an interesting one. I think I remember Natsui using that as a defensive weapon at some point. Mirrors, which will always force me to face my shabby reality, are something I always want to avoid. That's right. I hate mirrors. I don't want to see my pitiful self.
一度に何もかも決めなくていいわ。世界をゆっくりと作り上げていくのだってとても楽しいのだから。
分かっている。ゆっくりと魔女の生活を楽しみながらわらわの世界を膨らませてゆこうぞ。
あの狭くて暗い部屋はもうあんたの寝床じゃないわね。
わらわこそは黄金の魔女。六軒島の夜の支配者なれば夜の屋敷はわらわのもの。
You kind of just like usurped Red Beatrice over here, you kind of usurped her position and then just patched together a bunch of mythical Rokenjima Spooky Night ghost stories.
わらわの住まうべきは屋敷ではないか。
ベアトリーチェの部屋ははは、決まってるじゃないか。
そうね。お屋敷の2階のあの素敵な部屋。
魔女の貴賓室こそベアトリーチェの部屋じゃないか。
おお、そうであったな。今宵よりわらわが住まうは夜の屋敷のあの部屋ではないか。これはうっかりしていた。
You're showing a little bit more emotion than I've seen you do as of recent.
じゃあ
It's a little bit
行きま
unnerving.
しょう。ベア、魔女が2人お茶をするならあんな狭い部屋じゃなくてふさわしいステ
そうであるな。友人を招いて茶を振る舞うにはあの部屋は粗末が過ぎる。部屋を変えよう。有効ではないか。我が友よ。
シャノンとはお別れね。
When I looked at my feet, I could see my own dorm room far beneath me. I could see Shannon, who had dashed up to the bed I lay on and had been saying wait at the moment time froze. She was as rigid as a doll. Looking down at it from this height, it really did look like a small dollhouse.
さらばだシャノン。人間としてそなたを目標にそなたと友情を育みながらの日々も楽しいものであったぞ。もしわらわが魔法の閲楽を知ることなく魔女に開眼することがなかったなら、それはこれからも変わらなかったであろうな。
I was your only close friend too, wasn't I? Please forgive me for erasing that friend so suddenly. As a parting gift, I will erase me from your world. Starting now, this will not be a two-person room. It will be a single-person room, with just you in it. I hope you continue to strive for your ideal, and try to become a kind, reliable servant loved by everyone. Yasu, the stupid, clumsy servant, who lost things all the time, doesn't exist anymore. So long, Shannon. When I mature as the witch Beatrice and stride through the nighttime mansion where I will, I may bump into you as you do your nighttime rounds. However, when I meet you again, it will not be a reunion. It will be our first meeting. After all, though you have heard rumors about the witch Beatrice, you have never met her. So long, Shannon. Let us meet again sometime and spin up some fun tale. What was I doing? Was I talking in my sleep? Apparently I had gotten out of bed, stretched my hands out towards it, and said, wait. This isn't the first time I've woken up to find myself saying something strange, but I don't remember ever waking up to find myself out of bed and standing up. Could this be what they call sleepwalking? Am I just tired? Gotta sleep. Gotta get back to sleep. I turned around to face my bed. My bed wasn't there. There was no bed in this room, except the one I had just turned my back on. If I'm the only one in this room, and the only bed is the one behind me, that must mean it's my bed. That feels wrong for some reason. The bed sheets are all disarranged, as though someone had slipped out of them. Who did? This is a single-person room with me in it, right? So that there's my bed, and the traces of someone crawling out meant that I was just sleeping there until a second ago. But for some reason, that bed doesn't feel like my bed. However, though all the other kids shared rooms, I, Shannon, was given a single-person room. So there's only one bed, and it must be mine.
私、疲れてるのかな?
I must just be half asleep. School starts early tomorrow morning. And when school ends, I want to go to the mansion, help out with some schoolwork, with some work, and talk to Kumasawa-san about the mystery novel I just read. What? Oh, this is getting interesting.
ねえよ。きっと疲れてるからおかしなことを考えちゃうのね。おやすみなさい、シャノン。布団に包まれて静かに目を閉じれば、もう何も難しいことは考えなくていいんだよ。
That sounded more like you slammed into your bed. I went back into my bed. It felt a bit uncomfortable to crawl into a bed that wasn't mine. Still, it might just be because I'm getting so sleepy. But it's starting to feel as though this is my bed after all. I'm just half asleep.
私はシャノン。一人ぼっちの使用人。時々失敗もしちゃうけど、おやすみ。
Oh, darn it. I skipped a line of dialogue there.
私。
You ever, like, read or hear something, and for some reason it just hits you as being very, very wrong?
はあ、我こそは我にして我らなり。
When I read that one statement, that's what I got hit with. I was like, whoa, what was that? I mean, I'm sure that happens a lot, just that was a very good example of one.
もう使用人ごっこは飽きた。人間ごっこは飽きた。これより我は、今宵より我はベアトリーチェ。1000年を経た黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェであるぞ。たたえよ使用人ども、怯えよ夜回りに選ばれたることを。夜の島は屋敷はすべてわらわのもの、わらわの時間。ああ、我こそは我にして我らなり。さあ、我らの世界にてすべてを飲み込もう。それはまるで波動のように。やれやれ、今夜も人間の書物を魚に神秘の月を飲み干そう。これがミステリー、これが密室、これが人間には不可能な犯罪とな。笑わせる。その程度の隙だらけの穴だらけが人間には不可能な犯罪とな。わらわを簡単させる素晴らしき密室魔法はないのか。ああ、やれやれ、これもこれもそれもあれもバカらしい。くすりとは笑えるが、これでは月と書物にどちらが魚かわからぬというもの。ミステリーに飽きれば蝶に姿を変えて島を、屋敷を、広大な森を自由気ままに散歩しようではないか。臆病なる夜回りの使用人の後をつけて回り、窓の戸締まりを確かめるとき、そのガラスに姿を映して肩越しに笑ってくれようぞ。何をするも自由自在、気ままで気まぐれ。 夜のいたずらはなかなかに楽しそうだ。よし、決めたぞ。今宵からはそれで遊ぼうぜ。それは愉快。今宵も愉快だ。魔女の世界は想像力の限りの全てを遊べる。わらわの想像力こそ我が魔力の源なのだ。ならばよかろう。面白い。それを無限大に広げようぜ。そしてそれで島を全て飲み込んでやろうぞ。島の夜は全てわらわのものなり。ああ、魔女の日々のなんと優雅で愉快なることか。ああ、我こそは我にして我らなり。愉快なる魔女の世界に乾杯。
Well, she really jumped right into that role, didn't she? Jumped and tumbled and everything.
第5章、新しき元素。
And definitely, very obviously, actually, starting to see
お風呂場のアメニティは確認してくれましたか？
how we get to where we're familiar with. Though at the same time, I'm still feeling very strange vibes of not quite getting what's going on. It seems like an origin story, to be sure, for Beatrice. But it's still, it feels very weird. I don't know, there's just things that happen every once in a while, like that thing where, and maybe that'll get explained, I'm sure it will, but where Shannon's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to, when I get off of school, I'm gonna go to work, and I love to read the mystery novels, and it's like, what? I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Umineko. Bye!